Hey, we're only 5 minutes late. I'm not dead. Hello, crafters. Big D here, and welcome to the Game Craft Dragon. Yowza. Um, running a little late today. Had a couple things going on. Uh, to be blunt, was on an epic run in Hearthstone, and couldn't let go in the middle of it. Did everything I could to finish that game, and finished him right in the face. Punched him right in the face. It was great. How y'all doing tonight? Oh man, what a week! What a day! Oh my gosh, all the news, all the things, all the stuff, all right here. Oh God, these hurt my eyes already. Oh, what a day. So let's talk about what's on the bench. Cadia stands. Oh, we're gonna be talking about that today. There is so much to talk about. Gosh, this weekend was just sevens. What a weekend. Oh man. All right. So what do I got on the bench? I'm working on a commission build for a game store that is looking to expand into Warhammer. And so he wants a display of some figures that he can set up and kind of show people how to play Kill Team. So he commissioned me to build out a set of Chalnath for him. No painting, just building. The tower already built, and I've started on the sisters. I'm letting the paint dry on some other stuff I'm working on for Nick. As that's slowly slogging along. I have also, hello, Tina. I also have something else I was working on. I want to wait until Kirsch or one of the Warpstone guys shows up so I can show this off. But I will be showing that later in the stream. I'm gonna quick put that to people. Let's see stuff. Your stuff. Come to the stream. All right. Kirschbaum, the guy, the man, the dude, the guy. All right. So let's quick show what I did this weekend. Let's take a look at this lovely piece. You can't see the color. There is color all through the ground, so it looks, the light washes it out. But if I look like this, you can kind of see it. There's greens, there's browns, there's grays. It looks dirty, filthy, muddy through all of that. So we got that. There's two of them. I think the green's a little bit more visible in this one. So the two forests, that's their job. Then we have the large ruins. You can see it better stark on the bottom there. I used the same paint scheme on the bottom row so you can see what it looks like compared to regular grays. So we got this done. And then its matching counterpart. Just a little bit of color on there. They don't want to take away from the models, but you still don't want it to look all static and nasty. So we got the two of those. And then lastly, we have the four smaller ruins that are the same style of paint scheme on them. Easily reproducible, nothing fancy, nothing expensive, but they will look good for the miniatures that they are going to be going with. So I got to get them packed up back into their crate as they are now completely done. I'm going to try and get my hands on a bottle of LA Awesome and try and strip the measuring placard because it came out like absolute ass. I've got it hidden over here. Oh, and the crates. The crates, which we got some dinged up silver and some rust. Yes, no, this was super quick. This was they were primed Saturday morning. When I went to bed Saturday night, they were done. So, and I don't like saying that in front of Commodore because I'm like, well, what the frick is taking so long on my stuff? Because I'm doing a super special job on yours. Okay, yeah, it just got gunked up trying to get it printed looking right. Okay, I'll just chuck it then. Yeah, just print a fresh one. I tried painting it. I first hit it with a gloss coat to try and like keep the paint from leaking through, and I was going to just use some inks on it. And I used the inks, and they all kind of spread into the layer lines, and it looked like ass. And so I tried washing it off, and then trying a different layer, and then try a couple different times. I'm like, ah. And then I thought I had it dry, and I hit it with white spray to start over, and it just gummed all the details. It's like, oh, I must have had still water on that thing, and just turned into complete ass. So I'm like, oh, it's just terrible. Those of you not in Wisconsin can see fall is coming in, and so is the Big D beard. Starting to try and grow that in to keep the face warm. Oh my God, it has been cold in the mornings when I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning from the new job. Oh, and I got to make it look all nice and Santa-like because I don't want to scare the kids at the schools that I'm servicing. So, yeah, they're all done. And yeah, it's super easy paint job. I try to keep track of how I did it. I mean, honestly, Kirsch, just so you can see, this is the green I'm using. This is the silver I'm using. This is the white. And this is the black. And I use the black and the white to make a dark gray, a medium gray, and a light gray. Or actually, I dry brush it in the white because it's a artist white. So it's kind of a semi-transparent. So it makes a really nice dry brush effect because it dries, it goes on, it looks really white, and then it dries and becomes transparent. So, but basically, there's no model paint on it. This is all entirely craft paint, and it looks really good. The transparency of the paints. Yeah, well, that's okay. Nobody minds. Oh, all right. So that is what is on the bench. You are walking Grimdank right now. Dude, you already were. Did you see your new figure? Your new figure looks amazing. He looked just like you. We just need some green stuff to put a beard on that freak. So let's talk about news. Holy crap. Holy crap. Warhammer Day was amazing with reveals. Let's start from the ones I'm the least excited about to the ones I'm most excited about. So the least excited about was something that my wife, Lady D, is super excited about. Is the new Horseman of the Apocalypse. a return. It's an old model that's been redone. I seem to remember he's like an old model that they've redone after him being in Legends or out of print or whatever for years and years and years. That is the most excited, so we'll get about that in a minute. So the Chaos Lord Marine on a Juggernaut of Corn. That specifically, it looked like he's a named guy. They did show the I wasn't able to watch the stream, unfortunately. But I was able to get all the after effects. So yeah. I mean, the fact that the Chaos Lord on Juggernaut, oh my gosh, she was so pretty. It's just and I'm not excited about it because I'm not playing World Eaters, but Lady D's like, it's a Juggernaut. I want it. Yeah, so here's the thing, and it makes me immediately think, if I remember right, there is one of those for each of the 4 factions that have a specific Chaos God. Because there's a Nurgle Lord on the Palanquin of Nurgle. There's the there's one that's on, I want to say he's either on one of their mounts or he's on a chariot of Slanesh. I remember this old figure, and then I remember there being a chariot pulled by screamers. So I mean, does that mean we're getting mounted lords for the 4 specific Chaos chapter specs? We have the 4 horsemen. That'd be really cool. No, we weren't talking shit, Lady D. We're talking about that that Cornate on Juggernaut. That was just so absolutely cool. Along with that, they showed off the new Underworld stuff, which is pretty cool. I like Underworlds in theory. There's just other games I like more. So it's like, it's cool. I'd rather play Warcry, but I'm not saying it's not I'm not saying it's a bad game. I enjoy playing it, but I mean, I'd rather play Warcry. So I mean, that's pretty cool. Then they showed the new Kill Team expansion that's gonna be Kaskarin. I don't even know how to pronounce it. I call them Karskins. Karskins, and against the new Necrons. And the Necrons, it looks like there's a couple new sculpts in there. So Necrons versus Karskins. Yay, Necrons and yay, Karskins. So that's really kind of cool. That's exciting. That's super exciting. I like where they're going with Kill Team. I need to get a copy of In the Dark. I think I'm gonna get a copy of In the Dark. I wasn't gonna originally get a copy of In the Dark. I think I'm gonna get a copy of In the Dark, and now I'm gonna get a copy of this new one because that new one, and it immediately goes on sale. Like they showed it, it's already going on sale. I'm like, oh my god, it's already ready to go. And I love that I'm with you. I love the new Space Hulk terrain, and lo and behold, just like they've done with every other Kill Team, they've announced a box with a huge amount of the terrain in it. That's all that Space Hulk terrain, and they're creating a dedicated game mode, non-match play. Hallelujah! We're going to see non-match play given some glow up, which, yeah, okay, match play is great. Not knocking match play. But non-match play, Space Hulk 40K, like, okay, you can't have vehicles. So it's a lot like, it seems like it's a lot like Zone Mortalis. An old set of rules. A lot of people are familiar with Zone Mortalis mainly because they converted the Zone Mortalis terrain into usable with Necromunda. And apparently Zone Mortalis is still a really popular way to play Horse Heresy. Yeah, so this new yeah, I mean, I think and I think the boarding actions they're talking about, I think the big thing is that they make it a specific point that there's going to be, bonuses for things that are meant to be close range. Like we're going to see breachers become like a major thing within the Tau specifically for these inside fights, which I think is really cool. It immediately makes me wonder if they're not allowing vehicles. If it's got a base, but it's not a vehicle, how large of a base will they allow? Are crisis suits going to be viable in this new version of the game if no one else has vehicles? So, no vehicles, no monsters. So, that'll be interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see and again, this goes with the new storyline, the Arc of Omens, where Space Hulks are like a major player in this, and that freaking Abaddon's bringing and using the Space Hulks as part of his plan. All the different Hulks in the Arc of Omens. He's got some plan to take over the galaxy. I mean, the man's failed 13 times already. So, I mean, this is turn 14. Does he get it right this time? I doubt it. But, and I know it might be just hyperbole, but they've said things similar, but they've never said this specifically, that this storyline and this set of lore and setting piece is going to shake up the game in a way that hasn't been seen since the introduction of the Eye of Terror. I don't know what that means. 40K is based around this Eye of Terror thing happened, and I mean, that's what led to 30K. And oh, yeah, we're getting to that. We're getting to that, Hellchild. So, what in the ever loving hell is going to happen? But whatever the storyline is, it is going to shake up the game. Well, they're not saying it's a minor thing, but they're literally saying that this is going to be as big as the Eye of Terror. So I'm like, the only thing I can think of in 40K that would be as game changing, as world changing as the Eye of Terror, basically the thing that causes the entire 30K and 40K arc to happen. The birth of a god, the birth of the fourth chaos god. The only thing I can think of that'd be that big is either A, the emperor dies, B, the emperor gets back up and is resurrected, or C, Terra falls. There's nothing in the game setting as big as the Eye of Terror. So for something to be as big as the Eye of Terror. I mean, another Primarch on the good guys side wakes up and suddenly there's a civil war and the empire is split completely in half. I mean, these are the things that would have to happen to be in competition with the Eye of Terror. So for them to say it is as big a deal, 35th anniversary, they're shaking up the game. I mean, point to be made when they started ninth edition, like the books that came out, the novels that came out that were summing up and starting with ninth edition, we're no longer looking at things that have happened. The Indomitus Crusade, the thing that started the Primaris, was 200 years ago, and the game setting is as of effectively right now. So everything that happens is like we're on the cusp of the end time. We're right there now. We're no longer dealing with, oh, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. We're there. So current lore and current books are literally supposed to be pushing. That was the big thing they pushed with ninth edition, is that this is now moving the lore forward. And that's the thing, Commodore. I agree. But I mean, what else? What other major effect? What other major storyline could be of such an impact as the Eye of Terror? I mean, you're literally you're out of options. I mean, resurrected as Sigmar. Hey, Ben, that's not a bad idea. The rift opens up, and suddenly Age of Sigmar and 40K are one system. Well, shit. All right. I take my Space Marines, and I'm going against a bunch of dwarves and dirigibles. The hell, dude? Why is everything doing mortal wounds? Yeah, I mean, you're looking at, they've got to do something with the Emperor, some sort of civil war, or I mean, I can't, or Terra falls, and I mean, there's so many pieces of that universe that are on a precipice. Yeah, I mean, what are they going to do? Oh, by the way, it's the end times for 40K, and now we're going to start with Warhammer 45,000. It's 5,000 years later. Take all your figures, put them on the shelf. We got all new figures for you. God, there would be mass rioting in the game stores. Like, they would just pull down Warhammer shops and just set them afire and steal all the figures out of them. It would just be madness. Warhammer 50K. Now, you say that. I've actually seen like a fiction setting, like it was a fanfic setting where they were doing Warhammer 50K, and they projecting it's another 10,000 years in the future, and it was a real interesting world set. Yeah, let's go back to Warhammer 30K. That's my idea. Let's go not 30K. Let's go back to Warhammer 25K. So the Men of Iron and are a thing. The warlords are on Terra. Everything's screwed. Oh wait, that's pretty much Necromunda. All right, and now we're going to talk about the two things out of Warhammer Day that I was most hyped about. Like, I'm already hyped. I'm already like, wow, wow, wow. I'm already in full Murloc mode here. But let's get into the top two things. Let's go to number 2, which is, oh my God, have you seen the new Imperial Guard figures? They're freaking gorgeous. The redesign of the helmets, just that little detail was amazing. The fact that the Guard are better proportions, they have amazing sculpts. That they're redoing the entire flipping line. The Guard, the Cadians are getting all new basic shock troops, all new heavy weapons teams. There's new heavy weapons, the new assault weapons things, the rotary cannon, the rotary cannons, and the tank looking cannon. Oh my God, those were amazing looking figures. The new Guard looks so gorgeous. I love the new Sentinel. I love Sentinels. I will admit, I am a geek for the Sentinels. I think they're the coolest, silliest, fun idea in the army. And the fact that they gave them a new model that looks better, squatter, more sturdy. The chainsaw is not just kind of it actually has an arm. It's a good looking model. The dudes look great. The facial sculpts look great. The armor looked awesome. The helmets looked amazing. The new officers, the new officers, the new command kit, the new commissar. Hey, brother Al. Okay, here's the thing. People complain about tactical rocks, and I'm gonna say it because this is a big thing. Because I've been seeing people bitch about tactical rocks forever. Okay, how many people have you seen when models didn't have tactical rocks use cork or bark to put rocks on the bases and then stand the guys on that? If the battlefield's flat, you want to step on something to get a little height to see better. Tactical rocks make poses look more dynamic. And if you don't like the rock, it's plastic. Cut it off. It's not that hard, guys. I like the tactical rocks. And if you don't like them, you can easily hide them. You can just make the ground more hilly. You just kind of use a little bit of putty and smush it out and put it around there. It just looks like a rise in the dirt. If you don't know how to take a foot off for rock, then I don't know what's wrong with you, dude. Between a hobby saw, a Dremel, a knife, a pair of clippers, and just good old fashioned putty, you could take a foot off. If you can't take a foot off, you need a different hobby. You can get bent. How about that? All right. So the Guard look amazing. I'm so hyped for them. The Cadia Stands box. There's an interesting point they made though when they were talking about the rules, in that you'll be able to stick different figures, different regiments together, and they'll act like whatever regiment you want them to be. You'll just say, "This is the army rules my army uses." So part of me is thinking we're not going to see many new sculpts other than the Cadian sculpts. I don't think we're going to get new Catechins. I don't think we're going to get more of the Kriegsmen. I don't think we're going to get many more new models. I think they showed us the models we're going to get. But the way they're wording it is that you'll be able to use the models and use whatever rules you want to use for them, and no one will be penalized for it. And you can even use mixed models because that's the nature of the guard, which is shown by the kit. Because if you look at the Katie and Stan's kit, the dudes, there's at least 3 separate sculpts of different looking las rifles in there, or las guns, whatever you want to call them. There's 3 different sculpts. They all look different. So again, fitting with the guard of like, we just use what we got at hand. I mean, I think it looks good. I think the kit, I can't get over the helmets. That was the first thing I noticed, how good those helmets looked. They look really sharp. The nice dip in the front. It's just a really good looking helmet. I mean, it's a real redesign and they really look good. Yeah, they did. They very much, there was one sculpt that very much looks like M1 Garands. They look very much like the M1 Garands. There's one sculpt that very much looks like an M16. That was one of the things I noticed. Somebody flipped through the pictures and showed the different sculpts, and it was like, there's 3 separate sculpts. And one guy was complaining about it. I'm like, no, that's perfect. The guard uses what the guard uses. I think it's awesome. I think the different kinds of las guns that you can tell they're the same gun, but they look a little different. I think that's fine. I think the fact that some of the rules seem a little different. Like, it looks like unless they misexplained it or misworded it when they were talking about it. There might be, and that very well might be, Commodore. One of the things that where'd I get? Wow, that one just flew away from me. Just ran away from my mind. I got to chain those down. Wow, I totally lost my train of thought there because I was talking with a couple of people about the new kits. Oh, the thing that they weren't sure if they were explaining it. The wording they use seemed kind of weird. So it looks like you're gonna be able, watch it, or I'll remind people what's coming up for you in about a little over 2 weeks, old lady. The way they word it sounds like you'll be able to take a 10-man squad and attach a heavy weapons team to that squad. I didn't call you old. I didn't call you anything. You just need to watch it. So, and if they're going to do that, that's going to, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, it's definitely, I mean, it's going to change some dynamics in army building. I can't wait to see the new rules. And obviously this army box, obviously this army box is going to have, and it's got a lot of stuff in it. It looks like it has 2 Cadian teams, 2 Cadian fire teams, a heavy weapons team, the new heavy weapons specialty, the assault, whatever it's called, a command squad, and a commissar. The only thing that's new that's not in there, it doesn't look, they said that it's separately, so we're not going to get the Sentinel in that box. But there's going to be a lot of stuff in that box. So that box is going to be awesome. But it's also going to have, obviously, the codex, cards, the whole 9 yards. I'd like to have them throw dice in there. Give the guards some dice. That'd be nice. Although those Karskin dice, I may have to pick those up. I know GW's dice are expensive, but I might have to pick those up. Luckily, I just sold a box of dice that I got to deliver to my buddy. Will be interesting. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I thought they went over. I thought the Commissar was in there. If not, who cares? I'm gonna get one. They're gorgeous. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous kit. It's a gorgeous box. They're great new scups. Now, the last thing they showed, they only gave a glimmer of, and they gave a mysterious kind of video about it. And they've been teasing it for a while. And we only realized it when we went back and looked at the silhouette. Ray wanted to play the Red Corsairs, and it looked like they pulled the leader of the Red Corsairs off as a resin model. And then they had, like, on right after they pulled him off, they showed a piece of a clawed hand with a flame or magma or weapon, some type of weapon coming out of the palm that was very reminiscent of his weapon, just much better looking. And we were like, are they making a new one of him? That's awful big, though. And then they had an unaffiliated, like a couple of weeks later, they had this hammer that was very definitely techno, but it was very definitely chaos. And I'm like, are they doing some type of new Warsmith type character? Because it looked like a Warsmith hammer. And then they showed the silhouette of the new character that looks like he's going to be part of this Arc of Omen story arc. And the only way to really describe this guy, and I have pulled pictures as best as I could. I've seen people take Photoshops and then try and enhance it and try and see what they can pull out of the picture. And so we've got what looks like a demon prince of the Dark Mechanicum. Is he a Space Marine? Is he Dark Mechanicum? He's got metal wings. Dude, Ben, you joke about that, but I know some people that went to that level. People were grabbing as high resolution versions of that video as they could, and they were taking the couple of frames that they showed it, and they were putting it through every single kind of filter they could, and zoom and color enhance and dealing with the contrast and just everything they could to see if they could pull any detail out of it. And GW did a good job shrouding that thing because they really wasn't a lot of detail to pull out of that thing, other than a very clear silhouette of that hammer and that glove. So that's definitely him now. What is he? We don't know. Auspex Tactics did a video talking about it. Like, is it going to be a new Agent of Chaos, kind of like the Imperium has Agents of the Imperium, where he can go into any Chaos army as a unaligned member of the army? What is he? Other than being aligned with Chaos and other than him having something to do with the arcs, he has a very Mechanicum look. So a mechanical angel. There's so much freaking speculation, and they have let nothing on it. I reached out to my guy, and he had nothing, and he was taken aback because he had seen nothing and he went kind of dumpster diving to see what he could find for me, and very little. I mean, well, nothing on that specifically. G-Dubs has changed this Cadia thing a couple times. They wanted to move it around a couple times, so we're going to see it sooner rather than later. Apparently, they were lying, or they were originally pushed it back, and now they're moving it back up. This year is going to be packed. The amount of junk that they're going to be, the amount of plastic crack they're going to shove into our veins before the end of the year. It's already October, And it looks like we're going to get at least 2 more army boxes. 2 more flipping army boxes this year still. Not to mention, there's probably at least 1 more Age of Sigmar versus box. There might be another 40K versus box. What is he? I don't know, but I bet he can cost $50. I'll be honest with you. I'm betting he's going to be more along the lines of like a 65. I think he's going to be like the cost of an Abaddon type character. I think he's going to be like Abaddon or Bobby G. He's going to be like a $65 character. And yes, I am so excited for this move forward in the lore, the move forward in the story, the push forward. Finally, after 35 years of playing this freaking game, we're actually going to see, hopefully, with this narrative push, we're actually going to see the game move forward. And that is the same way they've explained it all along. They've already that was asked in a live stream. I want to say like right after they blew up Cadia, because keep in mind, Cadia was destroyed in game a couple 100 years ago. Why are there so many Cadians? Wherever one Cadian is, Cadia stands. Cadia has become a rallying cry for the Imperial Guard. We are all Cadia. All Imperial Guard, we are Cadia. And I think that's what they're kind of moving with this. That's why it doesn't matter what regiment you are. We can put them all together. You run the rules you want to run. We are Cadia. And I think that's going to be their big thing moving forward. I think everybody is going to be whatever army you want them to be. But Cadia is the rallying cry for the Guard because the planet broke before the Guard did. I think that's going to be... And do you think they will do a new Cadia? I don't know. I mean, it'd be nice to see. I don't think there's a new Cadia. But remember, the Cadian troops... There was a standard to where they were trained, and they would go to other places and guard up there, and they would train other troops there. Exactly, and that's I think Kirsch. I think that's literally what they're going to do. I think they're going to push for Cadia to be a mentality, and this goes back to if you have a Warhammer Plus subscription, if you have not watched Cadia Stands. That is by far the best hammer and bolter I have seen to date. If you love the Guard, you need to watch that. You need to watch that episode. You need to watch that episode to understand wherever. Kirsch, how are more people made? You know exactly how people are made. If you don't know, your wife will explain it to you. Go sit down before you hurt yourself. Yeah, I mean, Cadia was a planet. I don't think it's a planet anymore. Storks, Ben and 1. That does kind of mean that Belisarius Call is basically a super enhanced cyber stork. Just saying. But we can move on from that. They have Laz chickens. Cyber storks are not that far away. So we just got a brand new army. There's a new army box coming out. There's another army box coming out near the end of the year. This is insane. And they're saying this is all going to come up before the end of the year. Absolutely insane. And so they make up for it by releasing a Warhammer Day figure that absolutely just sucked. I'm sorry. Why would you release a Warhammer Day figure that is a specific faction that's not even an original faction of the game. They did all this retro shit leading up to the 35th anniversary day, and they release a former Emperor's champion with his helmet ripped off, given a name, probably a piece from a story, killing an orc, Black Templar. Who cares? Oh my God, there's so many things they could have done, and they gave us that. I'm not complaining that much because I don't care that much. But I mean, the 30th anniversary figure was pretty tight. The 25th anniversary figure was very cool. Why is the 35th anniversary figure Black Templars? Why? Why would you do that? Okay, you know, Ben, I can't argue. Maybe the Black Templars will play a bigger part in the lore. That would be disappointing to me, perfectly honest. And this is going to be awful coming out of my face, but I would almost rather the Ultramarines than the Black Templars. But okay. Knox, you're right in that the model is a good-looking model. I'm not arguing that the model is not a dope-looking model. It is a beautiful model. The Oryx at BT feet was that third edition? No, because that the Black Templars cover edition was Black Templars versus Dark Eldar. It was them against the Dark Eldar before they were called Drukhari. It was it was Dark Eldar versus the because that was where the Dark Eldar were released. That's where you finally saw their they're great models. They're very spiky, weird looking models compared to now. So yeah, I mean, the orcs are known for killing. I mean, the Black Templars are known for fighting the orcs. I mean, there's been a bunch of novels about them fighting the orcs. It's been a thing. So and again, I'm not saying the model's not dope as hell. The model's dope. And if I was a commission painter or I was a display painter and I wanted a gorgeous model to put up on the shelf, that'd be one thing. I want a model I can put on the table and freaking use. I don't care if it's a retro, if it's a new upped version of an old retro model, like like the old Captain redone, the old Captain redone in a new Primera sized model, or if they did, I don't know, another Gromben doll. I would even be fine with it being a Gromben doll that you could use. I don't know. I just, for it to be a specific Space Marine chapter that it really doesn't, because he's got all the markings, he really doesn't look right if you were to paint him as any other. It just kind of like, I don't know about that. I mean, that could be. I'm not, again, it's a dope model. I can't see, again, it's another model. It's like, that's really great. I don't really want it. I mean, I feel bad for the orc players. Like, they've been all these brand new models that they've gotten for the Black Templars, and they've all got orcs getting murdered on the bases. It's like the orcs are like, wow, thanks, guys. They freaking hate us. Well, I mean, I hope y'all enjoy it. I don't want to say I don't think it's a good model. It's a great looking model. It's a great model. I don't play Black Templars. Why would I buy it? Why would I waste the money? It's just a shame. But I have a Black Templar box. Maybe I'll pick one up and I'll start playing Black Templars. Why not? Why not? Let's just drop the walls, strip them all, and paint them, and let's just start playing Black Templars. No. How about not? Uh, odd piece of news I found out today. I have a bunch of YouTube channels that I have subscriptions to, and I don't even remember which one it was. But I remember a couple years back when Duncan Rhodes left Warhammer right after Contrast came out. Everybody was like, "Oh, Duncan Rhodes!" He's got his own channel now, and there was a lot of gnashing of teeth when Duncan left Warhammer. Well, apparently, right after, because I mean, the 35th anniversary was this weekend, Warhammer Day was this weekend, and he was in videos leading up to Warhammer Day. Peachy is no longer with GW after 22 years. Peachy is no longer with GW. And after Duncan, he was honestly, he left him at the beginning of September. Then his NDA must have finally run. I didn't realize he had just left because he was in videos like 2 weeks ago. So there was I found an interview with him where literally he sat down with a guy that's done some pretty cool hobby. I'll see if I can find the link to it. But where he did like an hour-long sit-down and interview with them, talking about Peachy being gone and talking about the other stuff Peachy's got going on. And it's interesting because, I mean, Peachy's been with GW for 22 years. And, I mean, not to be weird about it, but, I mean, where do you go from there? Where do you go in the industry from there? What do you do? I'm that's what I'm really most curious about. It's like, I mean, Duncan went and founded his own studio, and he's got a built-in base because he's known as a top-notch painter. Peachy's a good painter. He's known as a very good painter, but even he'll tell you, he's not like a Golden Demon level painter. He's certainly not as he even admitted. He started his own paint line. Oh, you see, people know more than I do. That's interesting. Started his own paint line. We'll have to get some and try them on. Peachy taught Duncan. Interesting. Well, I mean, given that Mr. Commodore here is Duncan's Padawan, and I say this with all mad respect because Commodore is an amazing painter, and if you ask him about his painting process, I just did what Duncan told me how to do. I mean, he literally is that humble about it. He's an amazing painter, but he's like, I just followed Duncan's instructions, and his models look freaking amazing. I mean, if you ever get a chance to go back on Commodore's Instagram and check out his nights and recognize there is no airbrush involved in that model whatsoever. That is all hand, two thin coats. It just screw you, Commodore. You're too good a painter. I hate you. Get out. No, it's funny that and Peachy was talking about his career because that was one of the things that he spent a couple of years working as part of the Army painter team, and I had no idea that there was the heavy metal team and then there's the Army painter team, and the heavy metal guys are there to paint the display boxes and the guys in the front and that kind of stuff, and the Army painters, their guys are there to paint figures and get complete displays put up of figures that are supposed to paint to standard good-looking models. People are a bit upset you know, I don't even know what to say at this point because I mean, there's so many things going on in the world of paint right now, and that's the weird thing. There's a lot going on in the world of paint. Vallejo has apparently gone out of business a couple of months ago. Apparently, they're out of business. Like, there's stuff that's in storage and there's stuff that's in warehousing, but that's it. There's not going to be any new Vallejo. That's it. Find a new paint line. Which I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I love Vallejo. They're done. Army Painter. Yeah, supply chain issues. Absolutely. Army Painter just did a video this weekend where they said, "Hey, we're sorry. We screwed up and some of our paints suck, and so we're reformulating them. We first heard some problems, so we put two mixing balls in every single paint from this point forward, so they get a better mix. And there's still issues, so we're reformulating a bunch of our paints." That's interesting. They literally went out and did a video going, "Hey, we're sorry, we screwed up. This is our main product, and people aren't happy with it." And they literally used clips from a bunch of big name painters going, and this, where they were talking bad about Army Painter paints, about the problems they have with them. And I mean, I saw Ninja, and I saw Trovarian, I saw a couple other guys in that quick flip of clips. And they're like taking on the chin. They're not trying to hide it. They're not trying to dodge it. They're just like, hey, you know what? We're going to do better for you guys. Holy crap. Since when does a hobby company do that? That was, I mean, I got to admit, I have not always been a fan of Army Painter. Some of their colors are really runny. Some of their colors are really, really transparent. Like, Tooth and Coats doesn't cover primer. Especially if you're doing like a dark primer, you really have to go the 3, 4, 5 coats over black with some of their colors. Yeah, I mean, it's a huge, good PR move, especially with now Duncan's paints being delayed, Vallejo having supply chain issues and probably out of biz. AK had that huge snafu 2 years ago, and people are still kind of about them. I mean, they're doing better. I'm now seeing AK Interactive, their basic paint lines in places. Learns like to be. Oh, that's true. That's true. That's very true, Condor. Validate us and we'll show loyalty. And I mean, Army Painter's big thing has been, we haven't had supply chain issues, so we're going to just keep chumping up paint out there. I mean, my favorite paint line ever, you can't get in the States anymore. You can't get it. I don't even know if they exist anymore outside of France. So and I loved Rel Partha paints, but they're impossible to get anymore. I haven't seen any in years. I found some of them here and there, and I love them, but God, they're impossible to get. They have some of the most gorgeous opalescent paints I've ever seen. No, they're not lead-based paint, you ass wipe. No, they're really super high pigment. They were a inexpensive paint that was really like cranked up in the pigment count. Like, there was no transparency in their paints. They were like, wow. Yeah, and I mean, I eventually want to grab a box of the speed paints. I want to see how they work because I want to see how well they work. Because I've heard it from some people that they really love them, and I've heard from other people that they freaking hate them. So, I want to pick a couple up, see if I can find a couple loose bottles in colors that I will use, and maybe put together a Underworlds team or something and try and paint them in that just to see how we get. I don't think GW needs to. GW just did that massive refresh, and people are really excited about it. I'm going to be honest with you. The GW washes are better than they've ever been. That new Rage Shade wash is like my go-to wash now. Even probably more so than probably a little more so than Null Oil. It's just such a neutral enhancing color. I just really, really, really like it. Just it's a fabulous color. It kind of blends things. Hard to describe. I'll probably just do some white figures and do some pictures of it if you want to see. I love Rage Shade. I think it's a really good color. And it's neutral enough. It can go pretty much about anything. And what they did with their contrasts are just glorious. I'm loving what they've done with their contrasts. And again, I'm actually liking Army Painter. I've been trying a couple of their paints and using them sparingly. Some of their colors I don't like. I still don't like their blues. A lot of their like mid-range blues are just so watery and so transparent. You can't put them over a dark primer. But yeah, exactly, Tom. I mean, they're just so good. And now I've seen some people using a lot more of the green stuff, candy inks, which are just gorgeous. You kind of want to really use an airbrush with them, but what do you call it? Pickle Jar did a video where he painted a figure in gold and then did a zenithal with silver over it. So the gold's just in the recesses and it's silver on top, like a white gold over the top of it, and then took Green Stuff World's candy green ink and went over it. And it's this incredibly rich but transparent green. So all the metallic shows through. This gorgeous metallic undercoating comes through, but it's just this super holy shit in your face green. I was like, what in the Lord? It's just gorgeous. So, yeah, it's crazy looking stuff. With all these changes in paint, I don't know. I gotta say, one of the things I really liked about doing these for Warp Storm is not thinking about it. Picking a scheme and just going. Not thinking about it too much, not going for 8,000 colors, not going for all these different shades and differences, just picking a scheme, sticking with it, going forward with it. And then, like, if I were to take it to another level after it's done, and this is just an example, but I'm talking more about the figures, but you could go back after this is done. It still looks good, but you could go back and just do little things and make it even better. And the slap chop method, I really kind of like the mentality behind that because it lets you paint a little bit more freely. Get the basics down, get a basic color scheme down, get them to the point where you can put them on the table and play with them. And then after they're at that point, go back figure by figure and just one by one do your touch-ups, do your highlighting, and get them all table ready, and then one by one start making them parade ready. If I do another set of these, I definitely will. I want to try these in browns. I think to do these with an underlayment of brown, so the stone is actually more of a sandstone color, and then brush it up in pale sand, which is a crime because pale sand is the best color of paint there ever was. And now that Vallejo is going away, pale sand will be no more. That just kind of dawned on me. Pale Sand is going away. Dana Howell must be in shambles right about now. Jesus. That's actually kind of upsetting with that dawning. Yeah, you weren't paying attention, were you? Yeah, Vallejo has been had so many supply chain issues for like 2.5 years with COVID and everything else. They're basically done. If what's made is made, and if you can get your hands on what's made, it's made. But there's nothing new coming out by them. I think they officially closed their doors. They're just distributing what they have left because they still have a lot in stock. But they're pretty much just distributing. They're done making paints. They're not doing it anymore. I'd love to see them fix that because holy shit, I love Vallejo paints. Or if somebody gets their big box of formulas, somebody else with another paint company picks their formulas and goes, "We make Vallejo paints," and buys the name or buys their I mean, dude, you laugh about it, Ben, but I want you to understand. I have in my box, I have at least 4 bottles of Lamenter's Yellow glaze because that is like my favorite glaze for doing wolf shoulders, and they don't make it anymore. You cannot get it anymore. Ask Eagle Park to buy them like they did MKE. I feel like I'm missing a reference there because I don't know what either of those are. The only MKE I know about. Are you talking about? I mean, MKE is Milwaukee. I don't know what you're talking about there. Oh, I mean, he's not an alcoholic. Okay, yeah. Sorry, man. I drink liquor. I don't drink beer. Beer's for little kids. Not on weekdays. All right. So, yeah, it's crazy. Like the times they are a changing. We got Warp Storm on the rise. There's a tournament there this weekend that I'll be TOing. It's the first tournament in the new digs, which is gonna be pretty fun. For anybody that's not familiar with the new location, which I'm hoping everybody at this point is, how much of the spectator tickets? Just show up and kibitz, you bastard. There better be some boba tea there, though. I want some boba tea. I tell you what, Ben, you show up. I'm going to give you wear a referee shirt so I can just point you at people and have you blow a whistle and yell at them. You're going to be the old man with the whistle and the referee shirt. Yeah, I know it's on 61st and Boba Fett. Nothing, unfortunately, will be up to my knowledge. Sneak peek RTT. Nothing will be up. Yeah, that's all right. I'll just go next door and buy food there. That's hot, Ben. I want you to do that with your shirt. Oh, some bendy. Rub that on my skin. Maybe to help with mine. Old Bengay. Hang on a minute. So yeah, things are changing. It's on 61st and Layton. If anybody in the future is seeing this, and you know where the old board game barracks used to be on 60th and Layton, that's where the new Warp Storm is. It's a great location. That's actually not a bad idea, man. We have all the tables for the gaming. Do I need to bring any mats this time around, Mr. Kirschbaum? Because nobody's asked me about my mats this time around. Let's see what else is going on. Well, I mean, we got all that stuff with Warhammer going on. I have to say, I'm a little disappointed we haven't heard more about Warcry. They did the big release, and they made it sound like they were going to start doing Warcry releases like they had done Kill Team, and we still haven't heard anything more about Warcry. So, oh yeah, my God, the next 3 weekends are incredibly insane. So this weekend we've got the Warp Storm RTT at the new Warp Storm location. The following weekend, we have Dragonfall in Lake Geneva. And that's a GT. That's both days, correct? So that's going to be, yeah, that's going to be tough. 35 players so far. That sounds amazing. So that's going to get us on the news. And then the following weekend, we have the Dragon's Eye, where I, Game Draft Dragon, am using my exacting limited knowledge of Age of Sigmar and overcommitted myself into the concept of running a 16-man tournament for Age of Sigmar. I have 3 players so far. And they're literally all 3 of them are from the Dias cast. So yeah. That is incorrect. Oh no. Okay. Lady D, who was running the administration end of it at the store, and one is Mitchell. Okay. So 2 are from the Dias cast and 1 is Mitchell. So we have 3 players signed up. I don't know what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting. I'm hoping we'll get some more turnout for it. I think Tina, come to Alaska and play Age of Sigmar in 2 weeks. Not this weekend, but 2 weeks after this weekend. Ben, you should play too. You two should both come and play. Winterfell, not Alaska. Winterfell is Alaska. Might as well be Alaska. Canada. There it is. Oh, Ben, I love you. uh, anyhow, so yeah, October is the month of tournaments. I'm taking November off. I am doing. I have no idea. I honestly have no idea about that. Um, there are so many weirdos in the local community. Oh my god, my arm is just dying of itching. I gotta stop scratching it. Um, there's so many weirdos in the local community. I don't even know anymore. I'm just glad we have a community. I mean, it's really what I'm trying to do with Dragon's Eye. Is just to get more Age of Sigmar community going because I do think it's a good game. I like the narrative aspect. I mean, I'm honest. I'm honestly going to tell you when the boarding action stuff comes out for 40K, I'm going to be hard pressed to probably play any other version at first because that just sounds like a ton of fun to play. Um, it just sounds like a lot of fun to play. Um, and I know I'm taking November off from doing anything organized. Like I am doing nothing organized in November. The idea is to try and get the hobby space reorganized, boxed up, everything on the shelf that's not gaming out of here, and reorganize the gaming shelf, move some things around. I'm dedicating November to finally getting the gaming space rededicated for use. I know I've been saying it for a couple of months, just haven't been stuck and able to, and I'm just dedicating November to do it. Just this is it. November is the month of purification, cleansing, and crusading against clutter and gray plastic. We shall be boxing up as much gray plastic that gets in our way and utilizing our abilities, keeping us from being able to use our abilities to play with our friends in this wonderful gaming space we have created for ourselves. So, as we wrap up our evening, I want to wrap up our night with a big shout out to my patrons, my friends, my patrons, my dudes and ladies. So we're going to start off with a big shout out to our Battle Brother tier. We've got Inquisitor Zane, Mini Warmutt, my brother, the amazing Mini Master Modeler Alex Drake, and the lovely Tina Karaskia. Thank you so much. Buck a month means a lot. It really does. In our Battle Leal tier, we have three amazing people. We have the amazing Joe Bookish. We have Mythos Kushranada of the Frosted Fist. If you're not a subscriber to the Frosted Fist, you really should. Now that they've added a third member to their team, they really kind of cover a lot of different aspects of the hobby, and they're a really great channel. Let's see what we can do to get them up to 1,000 subscribers. So, I mean, I know I'm only got a few people here, but, spread the word. Check them out. They do a live stream on Friday nights that's very similar to the live stream I do here, and they're a lot of fun. Check them out. And then lastly, Big Ben, the man with a plan, big swinging Ben Carrasquillo. Thank you so much, buddy. Appreciate you. Appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. From the cockles of my heart, I appreciate you. And lastly, I have my Warlord tier. Two people. They mean a world to me. I know I talk about them a lot because I do love them both so dearly. I love tormenting one, and I love enabling the other one so that she can torment him. if possible. So a big shout out and love to both my lovely niece, Jess, and my guy, the Commodore. You guys make this possible. You guys do a lot of stuff for me. Happy birthday! Oh my goodness. Happy birthday, Ben. Big Ben birthday boy. What does that get you to? 29? I'm a zoomer. Yes. Yes, you're the definition of a zoomer. No. My guys, my ladies, my friends. I love you all so dearly. I want to thank you so much for showing up tonight. If you can hit that up button, which I see a bunch of 5 you already have, if you can hit that up for me, I'd appreciate it. It just puts me a little bit more into the mix. So when people are looking for Warhammer content, they might stumble into our insanity here, and maybe we add some more friends out from the internet into this wonderfulness. Uh-oh. Commodore, we got to hear, what did Ben give you as a wedding present? I got to hear this. I got to hear this before we go. Come on, let's hear what you got. What did he give you for a wedding gift? I got to hear now. Just wants cards from the photos from the wedding. Warhammer models. Of course! Who wouldn't give him that? All right, my people. Love you so much, and we'll see you soon. I'm Big D, the Gamecraft Dragon, and we will see you in the near future. Until then, game on.